Hello there, good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock, JB here. We're about to get underway at Turf Moor between Burnley and Huddersfield Town in the Premier League. We're just waiting to start or to get a footage of the game so we can get on with the commentary. But I can tell you that we'll try and recap the teams as we go along with the commentary today. There was no chances of getting any thingy bobs live chat, because we are hoping to bring up other so no comments will be allowed, unfortunately, this afternoon, and we're just waiting to get a little stream sorted out before we do get on with the commentary. Once we've got that sorted out, we'll be good to go. We'll try and get you a live stream as quickly as possible, and get us all a live stream as quickly as. And in fact, we're 1 minute and 29 into the game, so we are with you now live. Huddersfield in the striped shirt, skinning us away. So we're 1 minute and 43 in. So apologies for missing the kickoff. It's just one of those unfortunate things when the communications sometimes do break down. But we are live now at with the game here at Turf Moor. Burnley, as I said, has forecast their changes. They have got Nick Pope in goal, Matt Lawton same back four, as Nick Pope gets the ball inside his own penalty area, takes the ball quite easily. Pope, who was beaten a couple of times on Tuesday night, had a magnificent game at Anfield last week in another of our Clarets Match lives, and of course next Sunday in fact we'll be with them again as we feature them away at Everton. So join us at around 2 o'clock next Sunday afternoon for that one as well. Stephen Ward with a throw in for the Clarets, still goalless. You've not missed much in the opening 2 and a bit minutes, and we are with you live now, and should be a cracking atmosphere as Ben Mee gets the ball forward, but that's gonna, well, offside and given. Sean Dyche was obviously disappointed that Burnley had tumbled out the cup on Tuesday night, and of course I was very vocal on that front, because I felt that there was a missed opportunity there for Burnley, and well, James Tarkowski will be wondering how he missed that. Earlier today, I should bring you up to date, West Ham 2, Tottenham 3, that was a final score, and I think Morata has just scored in the game at Stoke. So obviously a lot going on up around the country at the moment as Burnley and Huddersfield battling out. It's actually 6 against 7th. Of course Huddersfield weren't expected too much to be at the top at this stage of the proceedings. So Huddersfield, I'm just getting some views on how they're going to line up actually. Lossie, Love, Schindler, Jorgensen, Smith, Hogg, Ince, Sabri, Kachunga and De Portois. And De Portois will be the main striker up front. Kachunga, Zabrini and Ince are the attacking midfield three. Moy and Hogg the two holding midfielders. Love, Schindler, Jorgensen and Smith, and Rosell the goalkeeper. And Burnley, as we expect, Pope in goal, Ward, Mee, Tarkowski and Lawton. Arfield, Brady, Defoe, Henrik and Cork with Chris Wood the lone striker, and Burnley have won a free kick. Foul by Huddersfield. It's on foul on Matt Lawton, incidentally. Free kick. Might be like replacement for Phil Barsley, who started on Tuesday night in that cup, that shot cup exit against Leeds United. Looks a horrible. It looks a very hard challenge, I have to say, and I think the referee was right there. Chris Kavanagh, in fact, from Manchester, is the referee. So it's a Breedy who's given away the free kick. So Chris Kavanagh hasn't had to come too far, just 30 miles or so up the M66 for him. And Sabrini is the first man to be yellow carded, and Robbie Brady with his faithful left foot to feed the ball into that danger zone here for Burnley. 5 and a bit minutes gone. Ball floated in towards the penalty area. I predicted on LTF this morning that we would win 2-0. Chris Whiteman has gone for a 1-1 draw. Foul there by Jack Cork, and a free kick to Huddersfield Town. Sean Dyche again querying the decision. We had some very questionable refereeing decisions the other night in the match against Leeds. Darren Bond, the referee on this occasion. Well, let's hope Chris Kavanagh doesn't make too many errors. I thought Cork had got the ball there for me. It's there to be won. He's won it fairly. Studs are not showing at all, and I think that's a harsh decision against Jack Cork. It was there to be won, and he's been booked. Well, that even makes it that doubly a bit more souring, to be fair. I mean, the first yellow card for the Huddersfield lad, Sabri, I think that was the right decision, but then Cork's yellow card, I think it's an even baffling one. But there you go. The more we go on about referees and how inconsistent they are, the worse it's going to be. I don't think Chris Kavanagh was the right man for the job so far. He's not really. I think he's tried to score out another free kick now, and let's hope we're not going to get a flurry of these free kicks. And another, I think this is going to be a physical game, and I think it's going to be a tough one in fairness to the referee, Mr. Kavanagh. It's a foul on Cork, and there looks a clear elbow there by Aaron Moy. I have to say, I don't think the referee spotted that. It looked like Moy was going in with the elbow, and Jack Cork making that point to Mr. Kavanagh, the referee. And well, we've got controversy here at Turf Moor here, as that ball is floated in towards the 6-yard box, and just wide by Chris Ward, round about 7 or 8 yards out, dead central, heads it wide at the far post, and a goal kick to Huddersfield Town. But Burnley there from Robbie Brady's set play, making it happen. Wood just about evaded the offside trap. A big chance there for Chris Wood. He's a powerful man in the air, scored 30 goals, remember, for Leeds United last season, has got 3 this campaign for Burnley, plus 1 for Leeds at the start of the season. £16 million so far. He's paid some good slices of that off. It was a hefty transfer fee for Burnley to fork out that amount of money, but he's slowly and surely paying that off. Here's Lawton on the left hand side. Burnley giving Huddersfield 1 or 2 troubles here. Huddersfield in their last away match were beaten very soundly at West Ham. Remember, Tottenham won 3-2 at the London Stadium in a pretty good London derby down there by all accounts. I think we're going to have a very good match here today, as the ball gets swept in again from the right hand side. Again, the Huddersfield defence not dealing with it too well. Jorgensen did just enough to get it away. In fact, the ball goes out for a throw-in 5 yards inside the Burnley half. Turf Moor, as usual, ram jam packed for this game, and I think this is going to be an absolute classic. And of course, we'll bring you up to date. We won't have time to do the classifieds, unfortunately, today, because I'm otherwise engaged later on. I've got my day job to do later this evening, so I need to get myself fed and ready to go, and around about an hour after the final whistle here. Lawton takes the throw, tries to get the ball back. Lawton again keeps that going, finds Jack Cork. Quite a lot of space there in the midfield area. Back in field to Arfield. Cork gets it back from Arfield, playing that ball in, and in the end it comes to nothing in the end. And in the end, Tarkowski, who's had a decent start of the season, I did criticise him for the penalty miss the other night. When we were looking back at the commentary, it was probably a little bit harsh on reflection, but at the time that's how I felt. Clumsy foul there from Scott Arfield. Just going with the game, Scotty. It's a free kick to Huddersfield. 10 minutes have elapsed, and already there's 2 bookings, and that really sets the tone for what may well happen. I hope it isn't the case. Free kick which Lossell will take. Dark and red goalkeeper's jersey. Kicks long and up the field, but back again with great interest. I have to say, it's been I mean, Sean Dyche said in his press conference the other day, he said that Huddersfield have done remarkably well in terms of how they've gone about this Premier League campaign and how they've been able to get up there against all the odds. And also praised manager David Wagner for doing a fantastic job. But here's Defoe taking the ball cleanly, and then the long ball up from Ward, looking towards Wood, but that's hooked out of play over on the far side where the Bob Lord end is by Jorgensen. Long ball forward again, looking towards Depotra, but the ball knocked away. Moy tries to flick that on for Huddersfield, deep inside Burnley territory. Then Tarkowski and me almost getting in each other's way. Nearly could have cost Clarets dear, but Cork is in there, and then the tackle's flying in. It's a throw. Good tackle there by Aaron Moy. And the throw given, and away go Huddersfield again down that far side. Well, Burnley down that far side, I should say. Ball looking towards Henrik, and there's the shot from Arfield, charged down. Former Huddersfield player, of course, Scott Arfield, so coming up against his old employers. And here's Defoe making a good run, and back to Jack Cork. Now Ward has it on the far side. Ward in field to Cork. Cork back to me. 10 yards inside his own half. Still, Burnley nil, Huddersfield nil. We've just had over 12 minutes of the first half gone. Now Stephen Defoe takes possession, finds Tarkowski. Tarkowski hits it long. Infield to Robbie Brady. Brady loses out, but then Huddersfield in turn lose out to Cork. And now Brady runs through the middle, marauds through the middle if you like. A chance here for Arfield. And now Huddersfield to break away with Tom Ince, son of Paul Ince. And I'm sure Paul will be in the crowd over on the far side checking on his son's progress. A signing, of course, this summer from Derby County. Of course, quite a number of players like Will Hughes to Watford and 1 or 2 others. But at the moment it's still 0-0 as Aaron Moy keeps it going for Huddersfield Town. Still, we are way to go in that game. And for the 15th, love to get that ball forward. Last time we covered Huddersfield, it was that Wembley playoff final against Reading. 3 hours of what was absolute boredom at the time, but the Romantics won the day. Huddersfield won the penalty shootout, and with it this massive jackpot they've got, and they've spent most of it, well, they spent quite a bit of it on new blood. David Wagner, of course, also they've been in the news for all the wrong reasons, because there's been talk between Dean Hoyle, the chairman, and David Wagner that they're going to scrap a youth academy system. I think you need a youth academy, and I think a club like Huddersfield is a bit like Burnley in a way, with all due respect to them. They're small, they're like a club that is well thought of in the local community, and I think it needs to be that way. It's great having the players they've got. They've got probably the best manager they've had for many years, Huddersfield. Here's Lawton now on the right hand side. He has to play it back to Tarkowski. Tarkowski put his body on the line more than one occasion last Saturday against Liverpool at Anfield. Did really well. One ball forward from me, looking up towards Wood. Wood will keep it in just on that far side by the byline. In fact, Chris Wood's done remarkably well there against all the odds, and has won Burnley a corner. So a real opportunity arising here for Burnley as we come up just past the 14th minute mark of the game. We're into the 15th minute. Just keeps it in play there, and then the defender Jorgensen just gets back there and does a good defensive job, and it gives Robbie Brady a good opportunity again with that faithful left foot to send a good delivery in. Tarkowski and Wood are both forward from the back. Ben Mee, I should say. Wood will stay forward. Henrik is in there too. There's the ball. It's an outswinging back towards Tarkowski. He wins the header in towards the 6-yard box. Still play on. Here's Arfield down the right hand side, and he'll win another corner here for Burnley. So a chance here. Tom Ince with the tackle, and it'll be another corner, this time on the right hand side for Burnley. Sean Dyche, hands on hips, looks on. There was a bit of jostling and pushing there. There might have been a little tug there on Chris Wood, but I don't think you could have given it, although the referee bonding the match against Leeds gave a very soft penalty against Burnley for a foul by Tarkowski. And it remains the aforementioned Tarkowski and Mia fall forward from the backers. Another corner sent in again with great interest by Brady, but it's headed away by Huddersfield. I think Shinley got the ball away that time, and then the ball back up the other end to goalkeeper Nick Pope. And Pope, ooh, tell you what, he took his time then and almost got caught out. Harfield has it though, deep inside Huddersfield's half. Then the ball back over halfway. It will be a Burnley throw, and it'll be taken here by Stephen Ward, the Irishman, the Irish international. And still no goals here. When we get a breaking play, we'll bring you up to date with all the other scorelines from up and down the country. There's been an early goal at Stoke earlier today. West Ham 2, Tottenham 3. Good tackle again. Aaron Moy will take possession. Just to remind anyone who may have expected the messaging service, because I've got a lot on my plate today, I've had to give the comment section a miss today, because I've got a lot to do and I have got not much time to get everything sorted out. Plus I've got my day job to think about, and it would take me half an hour to read through all the comments anyway, whilst there's a good game of football going on. So apologies for not having the live chat, but these things, sometimes we just have to make sacrifices. It's only for a couple of games or so, because I'm a rather busy man. So it's a Huddersfield corner, Moy to take inside the 6-yard area, and a good catch, good clean catch inside that penalty area by goalkeeper Nick Pope. Did really well there, good sensible goalkeeping there, and I think in the main he's done rather well since replacing Tom Eaton, who picked up the injury against Crystal Palace in the last home league game. He slips there as he takes his goal kick, but he has found Scott Arfield with it, and now a chance here for Ward to bundle forward here for Burnley. Good tackle though by Smith. Smith doing well there to win the ball, and now a chance here for Hogg to find Moy. Back to Hogg again, and then the ball back to Jorgensen. Jorgensen to Smith, the captain of Huddersfield Town, and then back in field towards Moy again. Now out to the far side where number 26 Schindler is there. Schindler back to Jorgensen. Jorgensen gets the ball forward, looking towards Depotra, and he's found Depotra here. Tarkowski just had enough wits about him, and that's, well, he's claiming a back pass, but I don't think that was an intended back pass by Tarkowski, and Nick Pope was perfectly entitled to pick the ball up, because it was definitely not a back pass. And referee Chris Cavano actually making that point perfectly clear. Still 0-0, and good first half here in progress, but yet still no breakthrough between Burnley and Huddersfield Town. We've had just over 18 minutes gone at Turf Moor. Burnley looking to keep going at the top and getting to the top 6 places if results go for them, and should they win, of course. Huddersfield likewise, 8 points each from their first 5 games, and Huddersfield in fact ahead of Burnley in the table. They're in 6th place as opposed to Burnley in 7th place, and as I say, it's on goal difference, so but still a decent opportunity for one of these two teams to pick the 3 up, and I hope from a Burnley's perspective that we do get the revenge on the Yorkshire team, considering what Leeds did to us in midweek. That's no disrespect to Huddersfield, who have made a stunning start at life, but they'll find it much tougher as the season goes on, as Moy chips that over to the far side, kept in play rather well. Now Kachunga to take possession, plays that into the area, but knocked away quite easily there by Jack Court, but it'll come again with Love playing the ball back, and again this time a chance here for Schindler to find Jorgensen. Jorgensen, almost showed too much of it there, but round the corner it goes. Kachunga now looking to find a Potter on the far side, and it got a deflection, so it will be another Huddersfield Town corner. We're coming up towards 19 minutes gone. Well won there, off Stephen Ward by Kachunga, far side. And this really is the acid test. Burnley have been really organised defensively throughout the Premier League season. They've only lost one game in their first 5, and that was to West Brom here in the opening match at Turf Moor. They've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Crystal Palace, and got very creditable draws against Tottenham at Wembley and against Liverpool last week again down at Anfield. Bit of jostling in there about 4 yards from goal. Bit of a crowd scene for Nick Pope to try and collect. And they're going to go short here with the corner, and they're going to leave it here. Well, Moy was supposed to take the corner, but now he's left it, and a bit of gamesmanship possibly from Huddersfield Town here, because they're going to have, I don't know who's taking the corner, but it's going to be floated in. In fact, he has gone short, but it's hasn't worked at all well, and in the end I think Huddersfield will be falling flat on their face, and I don't think David Wagner, the German, will be too impressed by that, as the ball swung in again from the right hand side by Huddersfield Town, but again hooked away. Now Schindler to get it back to his goalkeeper Lossell with the right footed clearance. Just over halfway should be Ben Mees, headers it back into the Huddersfield half, then Moy chests it down, finds Tom Ince trying to get it over the halfway line, looking towards the Potra. The Potra will keep that in up against Tarkowski, who's a little bit out of position here, and the ball cannoning off Brady for a Huddersfield throw about 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Still coming up towards halfway of the first half, and Burnley 0, Huddersfield Town 0 is the current scoreline down here at Turf Moor. And here's Tarkowski to get the ball back to Nick Pope, the goalkeeper. Pope with the right foot absolutely skies it into the air, looking towards Chris Wood. Been a little bit anonymous so far, but Huddersfield have had a good spell, good 5 or 10 minutes. Here's Brady on the right hand side. Really needs to get into the game a bit more, I feel. Defoe really has to have a bit more about him, I think, in the midfield. He's had a good start to the season, the Belgian international. It's really been revitalised, has had a good pre-season behind him, and has done quite well, and he's linked up well with Henrik and Cork so far this season. And again, Ben Mee taking possession, still coming up towards the halfway mark of the first half here at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Ward throws down, surely the play will continue here. Wood was certainly tripped, the referee allowing it to go on. The ball in field to Arfield getting it back, then the first time crossing towards Wood, and Brady was there too, and it's just gone wide. Chris Wood was there again, and the New Zealander so close there to giving Burnley the lead. It was a lovely build up down the far side, lovely cross. Wood just needed better contact, I think, and that might have been 1-0 there to Burnley. Burnley always look a threat on the counter attack, and a lovely cross from Stephen Ward, and as I say, just needed better contact, I feel, and that was 1-0. I don't think the goalkeeper was getting anywhere near it. He's had a couple of opportunities. That was probably more half a chance than the earlier one he had, where he had it just wide off the far post. Halfway through the first half, Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Chris Wood with the 2 outstanding chances so far in the game. As soon as we get a meaningful breaking play, we will bring you the other scores from up and down the land. As Huddersfield come charging forward, the ball played back, and a chance here now for Tom Ince inside the D, and they've got a free kick there. I don't understand that decision. Hartfield arguing the case. The Huddersfield player's gone down in a heap. Referee Cabinet, oh, he's booking Hartfield. Well, I couldn't see what for. I'd like to see a replay of that, because that looks a harsh yellow card to me. Now Hartfield's coming in there. Oh, he is late, in fairness. I think Cabinet was probably right, and he allowed the advantage, and as soon as there wasn't anything forthcoming, I think Scott Hartfield had every reason to feel a little anxious there, because he has picked up a booking. So Burnley now on 2 yellow cards. 2 of their midfield 5 have been booked, which is a bit of a worry here. And Huddersfield will have practiced at set pieces a lot, and that's where the majority of goals you think would come. Tom Ince and Aaron Moy over the ball, right hand side, far side. Will it be the left foot of Ince or the right foot of Aaron Moy? The likes of Jorgensen, Schindler, Hogg and the Potra inside there. Is a free kick from Tom Ince. It's a poor free kick, just well wide of goal, and it's a goal kick for Burnley with 24 almost 25 minutes in fact of the first half elapsed, and well, it's been so far so good. Moment of point of peace. Pope hasn't had any really big saves to make throughout the first half, which is always a good sign of things, I suppose. Manchester United also winning, Watford and Chelsea also winning. Just to remind you of the two benches, incidentally. Burnley have Ledgkins, Volks, Barnes, Johanberg, Goodmanson, Johanberg, Goodmanson, Westwood, Bardsley and Long. As for Huddersfield, they've got Green, Malone, Billing, Van La Parra, Adalonja and Hefele. Some of those Huddersfield subs and some of their players have some very twisting names, which is very difficult for a certain commentator at the moment. But we still await the first goal. Here's Moy in possession for Huddersfield Town, midway inside the Burnley half. And then the ball played over by Hogg to Tom Hintz, and Hintz plays it in, and the ball will come back to Tom Hintz once again. Now Smith to measure across inside the far post. It's not going to be, well, it's going to be kept in fact, and Tom Hintz will keep that in play, and it's out for Impact Kachunga. They swapped wings into Kachunga by the looks of it, as Love plays it back, and now Schindler inside the centre circle and halfway gets the ball forward deep in towards the Burnley half, and Kachunga takes possession. Kachunga and Ince of course have swapped flanks, and Tarkowski just slicing that slightly, and it's gone out of play for a throw on the near side, level with the Burnley penalty area to Huddersfield, and that is, well, Tarkowski, that's not one of his better clearances, I have to say. Still 0-0. Remember, we left links on my Facebook page. We did a promo before the start, and also if a goal has been scored, you'll see my facial expressions as well as my joy, as well as the commentary, because we'll have a new feature. We'll have a new feature, Goal Commentators Cam, where I show my reaction to whatever happens here on the field. Might take a bit of editing though. Here's Arfield now knocking it back, and here's Tarkowski getting that forward. Chances here for Burnley now to plod forward. A long ball, but that's well, straight towards the goalkeeper, which is Losso. 28 minutes gone at Turf Moor. It's been a decent watch for a 0-0. It's not been a classic, but some games usually aren't. Remember, Man United leading at Southampton, Chelsea leading at Stoke, and Watford winning at Swansea so far this afternoon. All the rest are level, as well as this game that we're watching here, and Huddersfield now on the break with Tom Ince. Tom Ince gets the crossing towards the penalty area. Kachunga is waiting there as well. Ball back out with Brady. Brady hooking it forward. Burnley just on the back foot slightly, which is a little bit worrying. Love is having a word or two with the referee Cavano. I don't think they should be surrounding the referee here, Huddersfield. Brady went to volley it, and Love knew what he was getting himself into. I have to be honest. I don't think there was any blame attached there to Robbie Brady. He had to hook that clear. James Tarkowski having a word with the referee. It's Cavano of Manchester, the referee, in case you joined us late. One of the newbie referees to the top table of English football. So we come up towards half an hour. As Arfield goes in there, Wood gets it on back to Arfield. Oh, almost worked a treat then. Arfield almost worked it to get it back to Wood, and almost succeeded. But Huddersfield come forward. They haven't got the best of records, but here they come now on the break with Kachunga chipping at it, and that looked that looked offside to me, I have to say. Tom Ince had burst forward, and he did look about a good couple of yards offside. Oh dear. Well, that was very close. A close run thing here. Yes, he's about 2 yards blatantly offside. And the linesman's put his flag up rather late, I have to say, which sort of built up a bit of tension inside the stadium. Brady just, well, he's not had his best match so far, Robbie Brady. We've had half an hour. The game hasn't really come up. Apart from the 2 chances that Chris Wood has had, there's not been much to write home about in this match. Although it's not been a bad watch, it's been far from an awful game. Here's Pope with his right foot then just outside the area to the right hand side. Throws it in there towards Arfield, flicks it on, Wood flicks it on. But it comes off a Huddersfield Town man. It came off Jorgensen last. It will be a corner to Burnley. Now then, the first goal, as we all say, is going to be the most important thing. Now Robbie Brady needs to put in a very good delivery. That wonderful left foot, we saw he put in some terrific balls so accurately during the match against Leeds when he came on as substitute. We haven't seen much of him yet. Are we going to see the best of him here? Brady with the corner, left footed, and this time a better one. Woody's there with a header. It might drop, but it won't drop for a Burnley player. Huddersfield hook it out, but only as far as Tolkowski, or Lowton rather, playing that towards the far side. Brady will keep that in on the far side, but he's been easily challenged there by 2 Huddersfield defenders, and he fouls the Huddersfield man, and it's a free kick to Huddersfield. Well, if you were wagering who would be the happier of the 2 managers, you'd have to say at the moment David Wagner. Team frustrating the Clarets at the moment. He's a very good tactician. Worked under Jurgen Klopp, of course, at Borussia Dortmund in Germany. And I could do with, I think he wears the same glasses as Klopp, incidentally. Here's a chance for Huddersfield. Tom Ince's shot was blocked and hooked away by Jack Cork. Still Huddersfield come forward again with Ince this time. Ince keeps it away on the far side and then plays the ball back to Smith. Smith takes it out on the far side. Keeps the ball in play though. In fact, he didn't keep the ball in play, Tommy Smith, and it will be a throw to Burnley. He was offside, in fact, the Huddersfield captain was coming back, in fact, from an offside position as the ball was played. Just inside the last quarter of an hour, 32 into the 33rd minute, and we haven't had a goal to bring you yet on the Clarets Match live from Turf Moor. We'll be here until about 5 o'clock tonight. Also, no classifieds. We'll give you the full-time scores from the Premier League, and that's it. We'll leave the rest of it to the BBC, because I'll be a very busy man having a post-match, some post-match grub, and then it's off to the day job where I'm doing a night shift tonight. I've got plenty of sleep in time for this game. And Burnley still being held by a resolute Huddersfield Town here as Schindler gets the ball back to the goalkeeper Lossell, and then Schindler and Jorgensen now. Jorgensen gets it back to Schindler, Schindler back to Jorgensen. Jorgensen knocks the long ball forward, looking to find the Potra, but it's straight into the arms of Nicky Pope. Did really well there, the Burnley keeper. No panic. Here's Matt Lowton looking for Arfield, but at the moment no way past Hogg or Moy at the moment for Huddersfield. Our first look at them this season. Still Matt Lowton with a throw deep inside Huddersfield territory. They just haven't got their game together, Burnley. I mean, substitutions will play their part. As I say, they've got Ledgkins, Vokes, Barnes, Johan Gudmundsson, who actually had a decent game the other night, Westwood, Bardsley and Long. So plenty of opportunities there on the substitutes. Here's Defoe out to the far side. Now Ward will take possession here for Burnley. Ward likes to bomb forward, and that's a poor ball really from Ward. It wasn't really on that ball down the left, and out of play for a goal kick to Huddersfield. Coming on up towards the final 10 minutes of really not been a great advert for Premier League football if you're looking at it objectively as a layman. But here's De Protre, or Kachunga rather, and now Lerva plays it in towards Int and Kachunga again have swapped flanks, and then the ball back to Schindler is taking his time and then playing it back to his goalkeeper, which is Lossell back to Schindler back to Lossell. And that's the way the commentary has unfortunately been in this first half. Just to remind anyone who's tuned in late and wonders why the chat facility is disabled today, unfortunately I have a very busy schedule today, and I haven't got time to start out reading texts as well as this football match and of course the other scores. So just for this time we are just switching off the comments. Not that we don't enjoy receiving them, it's just for a one-off, because this game is a big game and we want to concentrate more on the commentary and all the serious business. So don't be offended by the chat being disabled. Plus we've had a few people on in this last few weeks that have totally broken the laws of it being a family show, as Brady almost dispossesses Tommy Smith there, who dawdled a bit inside his own half, and if Brady had a bit more wits about him I think he would have dispossessed him, but Smith was quite fortunate really. Here's Brady now back to halfway, and it's Jack Cork now, Cork in field to Defoe. Defoe's first touch was a little heavy, Arfield's touch was a bit heavy, but he kept control of it. Now Stephen Defoe, the Belgian, on towards Henrik, who's been pretty quiet so far out of the three midfielders, that with three central midfielders. Cork plays that in towards Wood. Looked as if he was being held there, but the referee allowing it to go. We're inside the last 10 minutes of the first half here at Turf Moor. And here comes Defoe. Lawton in a bit of space. He's got behind now. First time we've seen that happen, but then a Huddersfield defender, I think it was Ince, who got back there just in the nick of time to save a lot of hassle there for Huddersfield. One ball now will be picked up by Defoe. Defoe was surely bundled to the ground there, and the referee allowing an advantage. I don't know where the advantage was coming from there. Surely the referee's got to pull that back. Chris Cavan. Oh God. Right, we're back with you live there. We just had one or two troubles with the sound, but we are back with you now. And still no goals. 38 minutes gone. Here's Henrik in possession for Burnley. Plays it out towards Cork. Cork now drifts to the right hand side. Lawton offering support on the other back. Cork's cross is just too much whip on it. And in fact it's gone out for a throw. I think it's to Huddersfield Town. And there was a chance for Burnley just a few moments ago here that you might not have seen or heard, because we had sound problems. Big chance inside the 6-yard area, and Wood was almost on it in the flash and nearly put Burnley ahead. Lovely support work here by Ward, and Schindler just got it away inside the 6-yard box. It was a good bit of play, so we almost missed a goal through sound problems, but fortunately there's no goals that we've been able to miss for you. So at the moment we're still goalless as we come up towards 5 minutes before the break. We'll take a 5-minute break, then keep you abreast of what's happening elsewhere. We're at the Premier League and up and down the country. Here's Lowton now for Burnley. Long ball in towards Wood. Arfield might get possession on the edge of the area, but it's going to drop for the goalkeeper. Wassell. Sean Dyche looking, barking out instructions, putting his hands round his mouth and barking out orders. And Wassell there, almost charged down there by Wood. 40 minutes gone. And back again by Love, back to Schindler, back to the goalkeeper Lossell. Jorgensen gets it away for Huddersfield, up towards Kachunga, and then the ball back again with Burnley, and they get it up towards halfway. Not a game that's ebbed and flowed too much, but at the moment still no goals. That's a foul, clear foul there, free kick. And Burnley get on with it quickly, trying to get the tempo going again with Stephen Defoe. Loses out this time, but Defoe can't thread the ball through. Still 0-0 here between Burnley and Huddersfield Town, nearly promoted of course. Been an absolute not been the best of first halves, it must be said. But so far, Burnley trying to make some things happen, and Scott Arfield there with an opportunity that went wide of target with his right foot, but well wide of goal in the end, and it's back with the goalkeeper. We'll take a ground kick. We're inside the final 5 minutes. In fact, we play 41 minutes and 45 seconds. Here's Jack Court now in possession for Burnley. They've had the best of things here. 3 good opportunities possibly for Chris Ward. 2 of them possibly half chances. But here's Kachunga here on the far side. He'll line a shot up, and over the top of the crossbar it goes. Goal kick to Burnley, but that was better from Huddersfield Town if you look at it objectively. Moy playing the ball out towards the far side. Kachunga now just to the right of the D, strikes it on about 25 yards out, and he strikes it way into the McElroy stand, the back of the first tier of the McElroy stand for a goal kick. Pope will take it. We're now played 42 on. We're now coming up towards 42 and a half minutes gone. Still 0-0 between Burnley and Huddersfield Town. The Clarets Match live from Turf Moor. Full match commentary. Apologies for joining you 2 minutes late. We've been, when you're doing a game live, you always run the risk of being perceived by teething problems, but so far we haven't had a goal so far. Bit of sound loss earlier on, but we're now back with you loud and clear. Hopefully that goes for the second half too. Burnley come forward again. Ben Mee hitting it high and long towards Chris Wood, and then the ball ricochets, and back to free kick has been given to Burnley on halfway. So the final 2 minutes of the first half, probably about 90 seconds, and Sean Massey there on the near side is the lineswoman, we should say. She's not a linesman of course, she's a lineswoman. Sean Massey there on the near side, running the line this afternoon. Well, we should say assistant. I still say the old term linesman. Well, she's a lineswoman. We should point that out. I'm not sexist, by the way. I'm not like Richard Keys or Andy Gregg in that respect. Here's the ball back towards Lossell. Lossell just playing a little bit of keep ball, and then just hooks the ball out towards the far side. Kachunga takes has a chance here now for the cross to come in from the far side. Oh, a chance there, but it's inside the area. But Burnley just doing enough to get it away. Now Arfield trying to get away. Arfield, oh, lovely skill, took Aaron Moy out of the game superbly. Lovely twist and turn and control, and did really well. Long ball up towards Wood. Wood has been certainly actively involved when he's managed to get into the game. Arfield to Defoe. Defoe back to Tarkowski. Now to the far side where Ward can chest that down. We're inside the final 30 seconds of normal time. And now Ward to run at Tommins. And again, him and Kachunga are swapped flanks for the final time in the first half. 10 seconds of normal time to go, and then it will be down to the fourth official to tell us all that what we're going to have in terms of stoppage time. And we've played 45 minutes exactly. Chris Wood denied, it's a throw, and 2 added minutes will be added on at the end of the first half. Sean Dyche just checking his watch now. It's now there's 2 minutes. It's almost level with the Huddersfield penalty area. Would be a nice time for Burnley to score right on the stroke of half time. As Arfield touches that back to Cork. Cork sizes up the opportunities. Decides that Lawton was probably the best option on the right. Heads the ball into the penalty area from the right hand side rather. Ball out midway inside the Burnley half for a Burnley throw. Inside the Huddersfield half, I should say. And still no goals. Lawton to take the throw. We'll take a 5-minute break, come back with you and live coverage of the second half. Here's Arfield back to Cork. Cork just can't find enough from under his feet. We're coming up towards a minute and 10 to go of the stoppage time. The throw intercepting on towards Arfield. Arfield riding the challenge, and then Moy coming in very strongly, but it is a throw to Burnley deep inside the Huddersfield Town half. Burnley now starting. Well, what's he giving here? He's giving it the other way. He's giving it the other way. What's this referee doing? Well, what's he doing here, the referee? That looked a Burnley throw. I'm disgusted with the referee. Sean Massey certainly. Oh, is he giving it a foul throw here? He's giving a foul throw. That's what's happened. My point. I take that back to the referee. It was a foul throw. I didn't notice that there. I thought. Well. Anyway, we're now into the last 20 seconds of time added on. Oh dear me. It's all happened here. There's Ward knocking it on to Brady. Brady trying to work a miracle down this left hand side. Tries to play it into Arfield. Arfield just swiveled and just took a too heavy a touch on the ball. Tarkowski should get that back. In fact, he did well there. He had Depotre right on his tail, and there is the half-time whistle as the ball was played out to the left-hand side. So no joy for Depotre and Huddersfield. As for Burnley, they've had 2 gilt-edged chances through Chris Ward, who missed the target from both occasions. Could have had another chance if the ball had got through to him to stab it inside the 6-yard box, but so far Tom Ince has had an opportunity. He's been very vocal, and Kachunga fired from 20 yards over the bar. Apart from that, nothing much else to write home about at the moment at Turf Ball. We're going to take a 5-minute break with the scoreline: Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. John is in 5 minutes. Welcome back to this Premier League clash between Burnley and Huddersfield Town from Turf Moor. Clarets Match live, of course, and there's been some well, let's have a look at what's been happening up and down the country, shall we, because obviously we've got some half-time scores. Earlier today, West Ham 2, Tottenham 3. I'll run down the scorers as well in these games as well for you today. So what happened was Kane put Spurs ahead after 34 and then doubled the advantage after 38. Eriksen's put Spurs 3 up after 60 minutes. Then Hernandez pulled one back after 65. Then Aria was sent off for 2 yellow cards 20 minutes from the end, and Kayati made it a nervy finish for Spurs after 87 minutes, but Spurs avenged that 1-0 defeat at the London Stadium last year, and which cost them the league title. So revenge a little bit sweet for the 10 men of Tottenham. Burnley Huddersfield, as you know, is 0-0. No goals between Everton and Bournemouth at the moment at Goodison Park. There has been a goal scored in the match between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and that was a goal right on the stroke of half time by Leroy Sané. And at the moment Crystal Palace, wanting to avoid a record, an unwanted record in actual fact, of going 6 games at the start of the season without a goal. That's not the sort of thing you want to be looking at the moment. So let's have a look at what's going on down at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Manchester United 1 is a half-time score there. The goal after 20 minutes from the red-hot Romelu Lukaku. So that gives Manchester United a slender lead at half-time in that game. Southampton will no doubt go try and push the game if they can in the second half. No joy for Stoke at the moment. No joy for Stoke at the moment at the Bet365, because they are losing 2-0 to Chelsea. Morata scored the quickest goal of the day after 2 minutes. Pedro doubled the lead in after half an hour, and that's how things are standing at the moment in that game. And one more game to tell you about from the Liberty Stadium between Paul Clement Swansea and Marco Silva's Watford, and it's Watford in fact winning by a goal to 0. The goal coming after 13 minutes from former Burnley man Andre Grace, his first goal for the club. In fact, he got 2 against Swansea in his Burnley days last season, but it ended in disappointment for Gray and for the Clarets at that particular time. Next weekend, Huddersfield are at home to Tottenham. That's a big game for David Wagner's side. Tottenham, a good run of form away from home. That should be a tough one. And then Burnley are away at Everton next week. That's a Clarets Match live for you. And we will bring you at least one of the Saturday games as well on Saturday, because I've got a day off as well to bring you. So so we are back live at Turf Moor, and player stats at the moment: Robbie Brady, 31 touches, distance covered in 5.8 kilometres, top speed kilometres an hour 31.38, and he's made a grand total of 26 sprints. Pointless statistics to talk over at half time, I know, but that's the way of the world, I'm afraid. Whilst we've got no players out on the field at the moment, we will quickly go through the championship scores for you as well. We'll run through all the scores that matter before we leave you at about 5 o'clock, 5 past 5 as well. So we've checked the Premier League, let's check the championship, of course. Plenty going, that's League One. We want to check the championship. We will find out there. So these are whole half times. Bolton 0, Brentford 1, Derby 0, Birmingham 0, Fulham 0, Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 2, Ipswich 1, Norwich and Bristol City 0-0, Preston Millwall 0-0, QPR Burton again goalless, Reading 0, Hull 1, Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1, and Wolves 0, Barnsley 0. Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest is a 7:30 kickoff. So too in the Premier League is Leicester City versus Liverpool. We'll quickly go into League 1, shall we, and League 2, and of course the Scottish Premier League will keep up to date with that. So at the half times, again these are all half times. Bristol Rovers 1, Blackpool 1, Charlton 1, Bury 1, Fleetwood 1, Southend 3, not a good day at Highbury for Fleetwood. Northampton 0, Bradford 1, Oxford 0, Walsall 1, Peterborough 0, Wigan 1, Plymouth 0, Doncaster 1, Rochdale 2, Gillingham 0, Rotherham 1, Oldham 1, Scunthorpe 2, Portsmouth 0, and Shrewsbury 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Into League 2 we go. And we start with Accrington 1, Cheltenham 1, Barnet 0, Crawley 0, Colchester 1, Wycombe 1, Coventry, Exeter goalless, Crewe 0, Carlisle United 1, Luton and Chesterfield, Mansfield, Cambridge, Newport and Grimsby, all those games goalless. Notts County going well, 1-0 up against Lincoln City who were promoted last year under Danny Cowley, reached the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, remember. Stevenage 1, Morecambe 1, and Yeovil 0, Port Vale 1. Teams still not come out yet, as the Huddersfield substitutes and the Burnley substitutes are all warming up. We'll quickly go into the National League as well, but first we'll bring you the Scottish Premier League. In fact, we'll bring you the Scottish Premier League. Saturday the 23rd of September. Earlier today it ended Rangers 0, Celtic 2 in the first Old Firm of the season up at Ibrox. 3 games kicked off at 3. Game kicks off at 4 between Partick Thistle and Heart of Midlothian. The 3 games kicking off at 3 o'clock are as follows: Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 1, Ross County 0, Hibernian 1, and St Johnstone 0, Hamilton Academicals 1. They are all 3 o'clock kickoffs. We're still awaiting the arrival of the 2 teams. I just think we've seen some officials coming out there. We'll just try and quickly bring in the National League before the second half if we can. And we've got the National League. We'll just check quickly. Teams are actually coming out onto the field for the second half. I can just hear some clapping going on, so we'll try and bring you the National League. Yes, we've got National League here, so right, let's bring you quickly the National League scores before the second half commences. Both teams out now on the field. Hartlepool 0, Eastleigh 0, Fylde 1, Woking 0, Boreham Wood and Ebbsfleet 0-0, Exeter 1, Maidenhead 0, Halifax Town 0, Bromley 0, Guiseley and Dover 1-1, Aldershot 2, Leyton Orient 1, Maidstone 1, Gateshead 0, Solihull Moors 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Sutton United 1, Barrow 1, Torquay 0, Macclesfield 0, and Tranmere Rovers 0, Wrexham 0. And that is all the half-time scores from up and down the land for you at this moment in time. No changes, I believe, in any of the personnel, as I think it's as you were. And I've got a nice cup of hot coffee on the go. Keep the chill out. It's going to be Burnley to get us underway, incidentally, in the second half, and they're going to be taking the Jimmy McElroy end to our left. As I say, no changes from either side as the 2 managers come out onto the dugout. Just waiting for the last 1 or 2 management staff to walk out, and Burnley will get the game restarted and back underway again, and away we go then. Burnley, as I said, in claret and blue, attacking the goal to our right, to our left, and Huddersfield in the blue and white stripes. So traditional colours for both teams. Huddersfield get an early throw level with their own penalty area. Huddersfield are going to attack the cricket field stand, or the Ladbroke stand for sponsorship reasons, to our right. And as we can tell, it's as you were. Substitutions, just to remind you of the 2 teams: Paul, Ward, Tarkowski, me, Lowton, Cork, Defoe, Henrik, Wood and Arfield for Burnley. Huddersfield's 11, Lascelles, Lowe, Love, Schindler, Jorgensen, Smith, the captain, Moy, Hogg, Ince, Sabrini, Kachunga and Depotra. On the bench for Burnley, Ledskins, Volks, Barnes, Johan Gudmundsson, Ashley Westwood, Phil Bardsley, I should say, and Kevin Long. For substitutes for Huddersfield, Green, Malone, Billings, Van Lapara, Adalonga and Effler, as Ince makes an early dash down the right hand side, wins an early corner for Huddersfield Town, and that comes off Stephen Ward. David Warner giving it the seal of approval by clapping. Burnley won't want to do at the start of the second half is give away a goal from a set play. And Huddersfield have got the capacity, as we've seen so many times in the last 12 months, to score from set plays, and Aaron Moy is certainly one that can deliver him. In fact, he's gone outside and Burnley didn't pick up their men, and the shot coming in over the top of the crossbar. Over the top, it was Tommy Smith with the right-footed shot from about 25 yards out, just to the right of the D, and just over the top of the bar into the Ladbrokes cricket field stand. It goes for a goal kick to Burnley. Into the Huddersfield Town fans it went, the attempted shot. So remember, we'll give you full-time scores and we'll try and read through them as quickly as we can. We won't have time to bring you all the scores, but we'll bring you the scores that matter from leagues, from the Premier League down to the Championship Leagues 1 and 2, the National League, and of course the Scottish Premier Division, where Rangers and Celtic have already played, and Celtic won by 2-0. One of the goals coming from the prolific Lee Griffiths. So the bragging rights to the green half of Glasgow. Meanwhile, here in the Battle of the Roses between Lancashire and Yorkshire, Huddersfield and Burnley at Turf Moor drawing 0-0 at the moment, 0-0. A free kick, play on, says the referee. And here's Ben Mee now. The advantage is rather wasted there by Huddersfield. Cork now takes possession, loses it inside the centre circle. Now a chance here for Sabrini to run forward at the defenders, and they've gone all the way. And a chance here, good save by Nick Pope, and still not away yet. Ben Mee just about from 3 yards off his goal line. De Protra with the opportunity to get Huddersfield in front. It was Jack Cork who foolishly gave the ball away in the centre circle, and then a good run here by Sabrini, and De Protra with his right foot there had the chance there to beat Nick Pope, but Pope actually made a smart save. Burnley on the back foot again at the start, and that was the best chance of the lot. Could that come back to haunt Huddersfield Town? Now you just have to wonder. Jack Cork there, rather guilty there. Easily bumped off the ball. What a marvellous run, and then the shot there, and it was straight at Pope. He could have held on, to be fair, but Ben Mee got him out the cul-de-sac. Jack Cork will be one of the most relieved men in the entire stadium right now, I would have thought. Like him to make a mistake. Robbie Brady was surely obstructed there, just shy of halfway line in his own half there. 4 minutes of the second half gone, and Burnley here have a free kick. Oh, he had a swipe and then caught the round of his neck. Now surely Schindler should be booked for that. Surely, Love should be booked for that. Surely. There were lesser challenges than that got yellow cards. I just don't understand the referee's logic. The referee, in fact, is we'll just bring it to you now. Is Chris Kavanagh of Manchester, as that free kick comes in towards the Huddersfield area. Stephen Defoe will pick that ball up though. Burnley still going strong here with Robbie Brady. Burnley need to get a bit of possession on the ball. They're giving it away far too easily here, but Cork has won that back fairly, and the referee keeping a close watch on things, and a Huddersfield throw is the decision, although Burnley might feel aggrieved that they could have had a free kick given for them. Substitutions may well be needed to decide all this, to be quite honest with you. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. The Clarets Match live, and 5 minutes of the second half gone, and we'll be back with another Clarets Match live next week, a week tomorrow in fact, at Goodison Park, where Burnley make their second trip to Merseyside in about 3 weeks. This time they face an out of sorts Everton side, who are drawing 0-0 currently with Bournemouth. They really do need a win, really, Koeman's men, and if Burnley will go there not fearing it, because they remain unbeaten on the travels. Meanwhile, Wood has gone down on his haunches. Now this would be a worry if Wood was seriously injured. We're just having a look at this run again by in fact it was Tom Ince who made the initial break rather than Sabri, and away by Ben Mee after Pope had saved from De Potra. And here here is Tarkowski to get the ball forward. Burnley now attacking the McElroy end to our left. That's a lot of Robbie Brady, that ball, but Brady's kept that into his internal credit, and he's dug out the ball, just couldn't find Jack Cork, who was bursting just to the edge of the D. Now the ball back with Huddersfield, with Lerv trying to get it forward. Lervra, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's very difficult to see the pronunciation. No, one man that you can't pronounce too badly is Scott Arfield, the Canadian, but he's foolishly lost control, took too heavy a touch, and now Burnley could be on the back foot here, and it's a good workmanlike performance here from Huddersfield. No foul there, the shot coming in over the top of the crossbar, and it was well, it was a good breakout from Huddersfield. Could have ended up being 1-0 against Burnley here, and Huddersfield at the moment having the better of the play. It was a good early run there from Sabrini, which led to the opportunity, and then I think it was hit over the top by Kachunga. So still we await the first goal, and it's been a tense game. No goals. We haven't brought your goalless draw yet on the YouTube channel this season. That's a foul. Sean Massey giving the decision for Huddersfield. Foul by me on Kachunga. And I hope the referee isn't going to start booking players again willy-nilly. The last thing we need is bookings in the game. Ben Mears, well, he brought down Kachunga. He's already had a yellow card, Ben Mee. Rather harsh on their fault. Burnley captain today. And Huddersfield have a free kick on the right hand side, midway inside the Burnley half, and Aaron Moy with his right foot floats that into the danger zone. Pope comes, punches, not very far, only half away. Huddersfield trying to hook that back into the goal again. Tommins on the far side, then back to Lerv, who gets the ball back to his goalkeeper Lossie, or Lossell. Some of these Huddersfield players, real tongue twisting names. Burnley player been pushing and shoving, but the referee quite sensibly allowing the game to flow, and Burnley rather inexplicably give the ball away. Jack Cork was none the same way and went for the intended pass by Tarkowski. Disappointment again. It's been a recurring theme for Burnley. That final ball has just not been there today, and that has been the frustration really from Burnley's point of view. And it's a game that Sean Dyche will have earmarked to possibly get 3 crucial points from. At the moment it's not going the way that Burnley intend it to be, as Moy takes it on the halfway line for Huddersfield. Picks out Ince on the far side. Ince will cross it in from the left, headed away by Ben Mee. At the moment Burnley, well, they've won a 3 kick. Foul there by Depotra on Ben Mee, high foot. Tough going really for both teams, but again we have no breakthrough at this moment in time. As soon as we get a significant break in play, we'll bring you up to date with all the other scores up and down the country in the Premiership, or the Premier League I should say. On ball forward again, up towards Wood, trying to chest it down. He wins a throw. Actually it was Henrik, sorry. And Wood to take the throw, almost level with the Huddersfield penalty area, edge of the penalty area I should say. We've had 10 minutes of the second half, and here's Ward again. Huddersfield doubling up there, and here's Cork. These support. Henrik is there on the touchline, on the left touchline, hugging it basically. Ward now trying to get away from his markers, and he gets the crossing. Did well to get the crossing there, and then Wood was right in there inside the centre, but couldn't direct it goalwards, and in fact the goalkeeper has rather wasted that kick, and the ball's gone into touch on the far side, about 10-15 yards inside the Burnley half. Ward worked a miracle to get in there, and it was half a chance for Ward as he tried to prod it goalwards. It was always an easy one for the goalkeeper to save. He couldn't catch it first time, Lossell, but got it at the second attempt. 11 minutes of the second half now have elapsed. And still we await the first goal at Turf Moor. Both teams, both sets of supporters making an awful lot of noise at the moment. That's all we've had to show for it. Free kick against Tom Ince over on the far side. The Burnley right hand side, in fact a throw has been given against Tom Ince, sorry. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? And for those who have joined us and wondering why the chat facility has been disabled, simple as really, we want to concentrate on the match and try and get a good commentary to you. I also have other things to do this afternoon rather than read out text messages and things like that. I do have a day job later on, got a night shift coming up, so I need to be bright eyed and bushy tailed. So the lesser things we can do on these streams at the moment, the better, and it keeps me more alert. And I need to keep my eye on this game because it's a tough game for me to cover this. Here's Brady, takes it in the centre, cuts inside, plays it in there towards Arfield. Arfield touching it back to Cork. Cork plays it out to the far side magnificently, and now brings Stephen Defoe into it. Now Henrik, still midway inside the Huddersfield half. Burnley have been rather wasteful in giving possession away, which doesn't help matters. And again, it's brainless football from Red Me. Too hard a ball. That was really a poor pass. Hit it with too much venom, and there was no chance for Ward for getting on the end of that. It was an awful pass. 58 minutes gone, Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Sam Vokes, who hasn't scored since his double on the opening day against Chelsea. Looks towards Wood, but that's going to be the goalkeepers. Marcel. Not had much to do, the Huddersfield goalkeeper, in the second half, and we've been playing almost 58.5 minutes. One ball forward, and again attacked well by Ward. Arfield trying to flick that on, did well there. Arfield gets possession, but again Huddersfield just doubling up, and that's good tactics from Wagner, just to double up on players like Scott Arfield, who he knows are going to be a real threat. Last time these two sides met in league football, it was at the John Smith Stadium, where Burnley ran out 3-1 winners on the road to winning the championship, as Henrik tries to dig it out from his feet, but he can't succeed in doing so. Ball will come back to halfway, and Jack Cork now to launch it forward, or to play it down the line, and Lawton having to play the ball across to me. Now Stephen Defoe is close by, 10 yards inside the Huddersfield half, then back over the halfway line. Now Lawton has it, Brady on the overlap. In fact, Brady has it and Lawton's on the overlap. Here is Lawton infield again. Burnley looking to pick a way through this Huddersfield defence, who don't look like budging anytime soon. Wood can't dig it out from under his feet, and then goes to close down the goalkeeper, and he almost succeeded in doing that. Still 0-0, coming up towards an hour gone. Here's Stephen Ward for Burnley. One goal could be the difference between winning and losing this game. A point would not be the most disastrous result in the world, but it would be a better result for Huddersfield than it would be for Burnley, considering Burnley hold the home team and they're expected to turn teams like Huddersfield over, considering their brilliant home record last season. The Clarets in a little bit of trouble here as Kachunga comes forward, but it's a good bit of defensive work there by Stephen Defoe, doing terrifically well, and out for a throw on the right hand side. We've played just over an hour, and still we await the first goal. In the battle between 6th place and 7th place, Huddersfield going into the game in 6th place, and Burnley into the game in 7th, ahead of Liverpool, who kick off at 5:30 against Leicester City. But at the moment it doesn't look as if both teams are breaking through at the moment. Here's Aaron Moy for Huddersfield. They've drawn quite a lot of games recently, Huddersfield. They got a creditable draw last week against Leicester, the champions of 2 years ago, as Cork now wins possession, finds Stephen Defoe, Defoe tries to play back to Court, plays a goodly 1-2, and Defoe gets it back. Henrik gets it back a third time. He's got Wood up ahead of him, and so too is Brady on the far side. Robbie Brady now cuts inside. Brady's shot down the throat of the goalkeeper Lascelles. Better from Burnley. That's better. Robbie Brady there. That was more like the Brady we saw the other night in that 45-minute cameo he had in the Cup against Leeds. The 15 minutes he had in the second half, plus the half hour's extra time. Better from Brady. That was much better. Showed Löw one way, he went the other, got the shot in with his left foot, but it was straight down the goalkeeper's throat in all honesty, but that was better. 61.5 minutes just passed. Still, we await the first goal here. And Lascelles gets it away. And still no score. And Burnley win possession once again. Now it's Burnley's turn to try and put some attacks together. Here's Stephen Defoe. Good ball in towards Arfield. Arfield just couldn't dig it out from under his feet. Arfield might still go in there. Looked as if he was tugged there, I have to say. And Arfield looks appealing towards the linesman on the far side. And I have to say his shirt was pulled. And I thought that was more of a foul on Scott Arfield than there was a foul there on Kamal Wirth on Tuesday night, I have to say. Meanwhile, there's a substitution about to take place. On comes Sabrina, or Sabrini. Off he goes, and on comes number 17, Van La Parra. Another good player that Huddersfield have got in their ranks. Another danger man, if you like. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Burnley yet to make a substitution. We've played nearly 63 minutes. We're inside the final half an hour plus stoppage time. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Long ball forward, headed away, and that has been kept in quite well. But Burnley win possession. They're having a good 5 minutes here, the Clarets. Are they going to get a breakthrough here? That looked like a foul there. The referee Kavanagh letting it go. I felt that should have been a Burnley 3 kick. But here come Huddersfield now on the breakout. But I think they're going to make an absolute mess of that, to be quite honest. And Arfield nearly nicked the ball there. But it did look a free kick, and I have to say, you've seen them given. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Should Burnley have had a penalty about 3 minutes ago? Well, I'm sure if it has to be engine on controversy, I'm sure Gary Lineker and the boys on Match of the Day will point it out in more detail, should they leave that in the final edit. And now the ball back to Lascelles. Takes it out of his penalty area towards the right hand side. Absolutely miles out of his goal. Managed to find his own man inside the Burnley half. That looked a foul there on Ben Mee, have to say. Free kick to Burnley. The Potra, the offender. And Sian Massey was very quickly on the scene there. She was about 5 yards away from that incident. Potra with the best chance, arguably, of the match so far. And certainly of the second half in any case. Chris Wood has come close a few times for Burnley as Nick Pope with his right foot kicks away up towards Chris Wood. He wins the header. Now the ball, again the final pass has not been good enough from Burnley, and Robbie Brady, I'm afraid, has not had his best performance yet in a Burnley shirt. He's very good, he's a very good player and has a wonderful left foot. He's one of the best left footers in the game, but at the moment he hasn't got his game together. And here come Huddersfield with a shot, and it's just wide of the target from Tom Ince with his left foot from about 25 yards out, and he gets the clap of approval from Wagner even though he went wide. Aaron Moy cutting from the left hand side, and Tom Ince here just on the left of the penalty area struck it left footed. Nick Pope was struggling, I think, to get across. I don't think he had this covered. It was going in the corner if it was on target. Pope was not getting anywhere near it, despite the fact that he dived away to his left hand side. A real let off there for Burnley. Oh my goodness, 4 attempts to 6 in Huddersfield's favour. But at the moment, Burnley, who were probably favourites to win this match by the bookmakers, well, they're certainly not having it all their own way here. Huddersfield should have probably gone in front there. Burnley really haven't created too much in the way of clear-cut opportunities thus far in the game. Ward back over the halfway line to Ben Mee. 25 minutes just under to go. Here's Tarkowski. We've played nearly 66 minutes. Over on the far side is Lawton, but Huddersfield make a complete dog's dinner of the possession again, and now Burnley is trying to hook the ball forward, and now back with Lawton hugging that touchline. It'll be a throw to Burnley. You have yet to make a significant substitution. Huddersfield have made one. Van der Wapara has come on for Sabriri. 66 minutes and 25 seconds in fact have gone. And it's there towards Lawton again, in towards Brady. Brady again losing out. They're just bunching up. Huddersfield have just put 2 men on, and they've just doubled up on the Burnley attackers, and it's worked a treat. You have to say it's good tactics by Wagner. Now they've got a problem here, Burnley, because Ince is on the ball here. The cross in from the near side, well attacked by Mean, only half away, and Burnley hearts in their mouth stuff here with the defending. Now Arfield, somebody just needs to get a scruff of it now in the midfield and say, come on Clarets, let's get going again. Here's Stephen Ward. It's just been frustrating in that final third. That final ball hasn't been there. That's down to the good tactics as well of Huddersfield Town, and that's going to be a throw to Burnley, right on halfway incidentally. Whew. Well, who's your money on now? It's been a frustrating 67 minutes or so for the Clarets. Chris Wood has had 3 opportunities, just hasn't taken them, and then we've had Proctor missing the best chance of the second half for Huddersfield. So plenty of opportunities, a couple of them gilt edged, but still we have no goals. Here's Henrik taking the long ball down, did well with his feet, and then he looked, oh, that's a foul, I'm afraid. Free kick. 53% possession Burnley, 47% at Huddersfield. That was a silly foul there by Jorgensen on a free kick. Henrik's okay, he'll be able to continue, he's back on his feet again. Sanka is his actual name, Jorgensen. Jorgensen. Sanka he wears on the back of his shirt. Just over 22 minutes remaining, plus any time added on before stoppages, and Robbie Brady now needs a good delivery. He hasn't really had a good game so far, Robbie Brady. Huddersfield playing the line as that ball is swept in there. A header attacked by Tarkowski. I think he was onside as well, and he just couldn't header it down. I think if he'd had his time again, he could have chested that down and finished off. I think he might have been offside actually. Let's have a look at it again. Did the flag go up? No, it didn't actually. Oh, it did, I think. I think it did. The replay didn't hang on enough. Must have been onside then, because it was a goal kick by the looks of it, and they're trying to play it short, and that's a bit of a dicey thing for Huddersfield to do really, because Burnley there could have profited from that if they'd have had quicker players in their books. Norton gets it out for a throw to Huddersfield. Now then, Tony Loughran, Ian Walsh, Sean Datch look on. They know that they have to put fresh legs on, because Huddersfield have made one change so far. The Van der Wapara has come on, and at the moment we aren't seeing any evidence at all, as far as I can tell, on the far side of any meaningful substitution from Burnley yet. And I'm sure they've discussed tactics there on that far side, Messrs Deitch, Loughran and Wone, but yet we still haven't had a goal. Burnley haven't really done enough for me in the final third. They've had a few decisions go against them. I think a couple of harsh yellow cards. 20 minutes now remaining, and Huddersfield holding on in there. They've gone at Burnley as well, and they've got a bit of space to run into here. This could be problems as Tom Ince makes a good break. Oh, the chance here on the far side, and he goes down. No penalty, no penalty. Lawton telling Tom Ince to get up. And in fact, I think the referee's going to book in for simulation. Well, someone, I don't think it was, no, it's Van der Wapara who went down. It was Kachunga. That's a pure piece of simulation. The referee, in my opinion, has got that right. Lawton does not touch him. He's looking for that Van der Wapara. It's a silly booking. It's gone down as if he's been shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. I just cannot believe. David Wagner, well, you can pray for a penalty, but you're not going to get one, son, because that's not a penalty. Good decision by the referee. I thought it was Tom Hinton initially, but it's Randolph Barrow who went bursting through there, and then went in great position to actually have a shot at Nick Pope. Inexplicably went down, and Burnley should have had a free kick there, but they might just prop it from the advantage here, as the flag has it gone up. The shot has gone in anyway from Brady, but I think Henrik had just stood offside. The linesman on the far side indicating that case. Let's have a look at it again on replay. Let's have a look. Wood was offside, and he became active as soon as he touched it, and the linesman straight away spotted it. But that is not a penalty. He's looking for that. Milton stands his ground, and he's trying to use his foot to try and trip over Lawtons and win a penalty, and the referee, in my opinion, gets that decision correct. 0-0 here at Turf Moors. We played 72 minutes exactly, and still we await the first goal in a very tense contest between Yorkshire and Lancashire rivals. Second meeting against Yorkshire opposition inside a week. They played Leeds and drew 2-2 after extra time, and then the penalties. Schindler concedes the throw. Burnley within 5 yards of the dead ball line, deep inside Huddersfield territory. Are Burnley gonna do it? One goal now from either side could win or lose the game. Stephen Ward to take it, throws it short towards the edge of the area, and here's Henrik, gets the crossing, but that's going to be the goalkeeper's, I'm afraid. Lascelles all day long, and he throws out, but it's intercepted quite brilliantly by Stephen Defoe, and Defoe calmly gets it back to Tarkowski. And what a finish we're in for now, as the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, kicks right footed, and over the halfway line it goes. Still 0-0. Henrik and Brady tripping over each other at the moment, and then the ball back to me. Now me to hook it away as far as up the field as he possibly can. Still 0-0. Ball kept in play, and then the long ball forward, and still we await the first goal in this tense and dramatic encounter. And it has been tense and dramatic, but yet still no break in the score. In fact, I think we're going to see a change from Burnley. First one of the day. Jeff Henrik is going to be replaced here, and he will be replaced by Ashley Barnes. Will it be going to, I wonder if he's going to play up front with Chris Wood. They certainly worked well together, I thought, when they came on together against Blackburn in the Cup earlier this season. We'll just have to see how that one actually pans out as far as this game is concerned. It could well be 4-4-2 with Barnes and Wood spearheading the attack, or maybe Barnes could just sort of play as a false number 9 or false number 10 if you like. Coming up towards a quarter of an hour to go, and Burnley still being held here by Huddersfield, but the ball is hooked very high into the penalty area, but the referee has blown, and Tommins actually hits it over the crossbar. There was a bit of foul pushing and shoving by Kachunga, and a free kick to Burnley. Well, Port was a little bit sceptical. Should he have stayed? Should he have gone to catch it? Did either or in the end. Ball flicked on once again. Wood takes possession. Here's Scott Arfield, back to Ben Mee. Now Stephen Ward in possession, left hand side. Ward now infield. Oh, and Arfield's touch again. He hasn't had his best game, I'm afraid, Scott Arfield. His first touches have been a bit hairy and a bit poor, I've got to say. Not been the Scott Arfield of the last couple of weeks, I'm afraid. It's been a pale shadow of his usual self. Start the season quite well, actually, Scott Arfield. Tommy Smith with a throw on halfway for Huddersfield. I think he tried to nick a few yards there, and the referee allowed it to happen. That's not within the spirit of the game, I'm afraid. as Huddersfield come forward. A shot coming in, and again Pope having to dive away to his left. Van La Parra with the shot with his right foot, and Nicky Pope having to dive away to his left hand side to stop it. Aaron Moy spreading it out from halfway, finding Van La Parra. He ran at Lowton, and it was a good save from Pope. Couldn't take any chances. It's a corner to be taken by Aaron Moy. We've played 76 minutes. Burnley still hanging on in there at the moment as that corner comes in from the near side in towards the 6-yard box, headed wide again, this time by, I think it was Kachunga this time at the back post. It might have been Van La Parra as well. Burnley having a couple of let-offs here in this game. It was Kachunga, in fact. 76.5 minutes gone. 13.5 left to play. And I'm not surprised. Scott Arfield has not had his best game today. He's been in good form prior to today, but he hasn't had his better game, I'm afraid. And Arfield will be making way here. And the man who's replacing him is Johan Berg Gudmundsson, and I think he was a little bit unlucky to start, but Arfield's form has been good. Dean Oyle there in the director's box looking on. We saw him in the director's box last season at Wembley in the playoff final, kicking every single ball. And both of them Ward. But a bit of fresh legs now. 2 substitutions made by Burnley as opposed to 1 for Huddersfield. And Burnley should have the fresher side all in all, and the goalkeeper just about held on. Tom Ince was closing in there. Not a lot to spare. Pope was a little slow, but he got away with it. Here's a chance here now for Burnley to try and attack, with Huddersfield putting men behind the ball, parking the bus as it were. They have attacked a few times, Burnley. 13, just shy of 12 minutes to go. It's been a day of frustration for Burnley at the moment. No way through, which has been the theme of this game so far. Are we on for our first 0-0 in any of our live matches this season? Well, with 12 minutes to see if one of these two teams can change that anyway. We have brought you goals in every other commentary match we've brought you. But at the moment we've brought you nothing today. Huddersfield have a free kick. I thought it was a throw personally. The referee has made 1 or 2 ridiculous calls, to say the least, but he got the Van der Parra one absolutely spot on, dot on as well. Ball back to goalkeeper. Marcel. There's Defoe deep inside Huddersfield's half. Now a chance here for Robbie Brady, now really to take on all comers. There's 3 Huddersfield players trebling up on him now, and that's a testament to Robbie Brady is. And Wood went into the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper wasn't convincing, and Wood just needed to grow a bit to get on the end of that one, otherwise well, Burnley could have been in front. Stephen Defoe, good right-footed cross, and Wood just couldn't jump enough, or wasn't in the right position to nod the ball back across the goal mouth. Lascelles really wasn't convincing in the goal there. He gets away with it. Meanwhile, a substitution taking place for Huddersfield Town, and it's Hogg that's coming off for Huddersfield. It's his first appearance in the Premier League. He's done okay, been a little bit quiet in and out all in all today. No way through for, no goal for Hogg. He's just had a quiet afternoon really. Sam Billing takes his place, number 8. Gets a good hug there from David Wagner. There was a real togetherness about Huddersfield Town's lineup here, one has to say. But at the moment, that Brandon Brothers look like getting a huge point from Turf Moor. Not an easy place to go to, of course. And that ball has been kept in play. Flick on again by Henrik, and now just Brady then trying to thread the ball through, and it's that last ball trying to thread it through. And the Huddersfield defence are not for budging in this game. They've really defended stoutly, in all fairness to them. Surely there's got to be a goal arriving from somewhere. Hopefully it's not against Burnley. haven't deserved to lose. And here's Bandlepara trying to break. Burnley just got to clear the lines. A good block there by Aaron Moy, and it's a throw. Well, it's giving it the other way. I thought that come off Moy last. Well, the referee, well, Sean Maxey, who's not made too many mistakes, I think she's made one there. I think they're a bit. I think they're trying to. That's a goal kick. I don't know the idea of Kachunga's tactic there. But early to run into the corners when you've played just over 81 minutes and you've still got 9, maybe 10 minutes still to go plus stoppage time. Don't see the logic in that. It's a goal kick, however, to Burnley. Nothing bad came from it, and the Pope kicks away, right-footed over the halfway line it goes, and the header, first header won by Huddersfield. I think it was Schindler winning that header, and then he wins the second header, and then again the header back the third time, and again they're winning the first and second and third balls here, Huddersfield, which is frustrating Burnley at the moment. Still 0-0. Jack Cork picks it up on halfway line, and then Defoe to me now to Ward. Ward will go over the halfway line. He'll do his best here to skillfully keep that going. Has to play it back, however, back to Ben Mee. This is the frustration. Burnley having to retreat every time they try to attack. Here's Defoe. Now a chance here now. Goodmanson tries to get the cross in. Dropped back across towards the edge of the area. And Aaron Moy, I have to say, he's played really well today. Hooks it out for a throw. His defensive work, he's got through quite a bit of defensive work, is Aaron Moy. Signing from Manchester City. Very surprised City let him go. But, Pep Guardiola said he was surplus to requirements. As Ward tries to link up with Brady, but again it just doesn't come off for Burnley. 82.5 minutes gone, 7.5 to go, and still no change in the score. Still 0-0. And are we going to see a breakthrough in this match? Here's Jack Cork to Ben Mee. Ben Mee over the halfway line, just to the left of the centre circle. Now Brady has it on the left hand side. Goodmanson's got to the right, it looks like, and Brady to the left. As Burnley have possession deep inside the half, and Wood turns and shoots on the edge of the D and gets a good right footer shot in, but again it's straight down Lascelles' throat, and Huddersfield can breathe, exhale once again. A good turn and shot there, good snapshot, but it was straight down Lascelles' throat, in all honesty. Hit it well, hit it low, but the goalkeeper was well positioned, and it was never going to trouble. It's back with the other end, of course. Headed back to Nick Pope, bowls the ball along the floor, and then kicks away off the ground, right-footed. Over the halfway line it goes. Wood to win the header, and then Wood again to flick it on. Barnes going in there very strongly. And he'll certainly mix the play up physically, Ashley Barnes, but we're still awaiting a goal. Will we get one today? We've got about just over 6 minutes plus stoppage time to find out whether we will or not. Otherwise our Clarets Match Live will be goalless. One of our live commentaries will be goalless for the very first time this season. Here's Robbie Brady, midway inside, right on halfway inside the centre circle, then the ball back out towards the left hand side. Now that's a foul, that's a clear foul there by Love, and a free kick. It was a foul there on Matt Lilton, free kick. Silly challenge. It was one of those horrible silly challenges that could have ended up being a booking. I think we've seen players from Burnley book for less than what Love has just done, but it gives Burnley a free kick. Now then, oh, the Burnley player's gone down there, and I think it's the 23rd. Well, it's Jorgensen involved in. Surely, you know, if he's hit Tarkowski off the ball, then surely he's got to be booked at least, if not sent off. Big call here for Chris Canavat. There's the incident. He's thrown into the ground there. That's at least a yellow card. No action has been taken against either player. And Zanka and Tarkowski still jostling with each other as that free kick comes in towards the far side. Goalkeeper comes and just about gets, and then kicks as far up the field as he possibly can, but it's 1 against 2 in Burnley's favour. Pope is perilously out of his goal there, out of his penalty area, and had to hook that out. And now Burnley are back in under pressure here. But I think Jorgensen should have been booked. He clearly shoved Tarkowski to the floor. Referee should have spotted that for me. Ridiculous. Still 0-0. Burnley and Huddersfield battling it out. And really this is going to be a hard-earned point for Huddersfield should they get it. But at the moment it's not going to be Burnley's day, I'm afraid. As Mossel kicks forward. 4 minutes to go. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. Here's Pope. Oh, he had to get that away rather quickly, and again in the end he was under so much pressure he had to kick into the Bob Lord stand. And again Burnley inviting more pressure here from Huddersfield Town, who could probably sense blood here and nick 3 points. They're on course for a point, a hard working point. They've certainly been, I think they've been probably second best on the balance of play, but well, full marks for them for digging in there and not giving Burnley too much of a sniff. That had to be said. That looked a clear push there by De Potre. It was a clear push, and Burnley have to get on with it quickly. They haven't got time to mess about here. And a long ball forward, and Barnes Wood will chase that, but again out away. Now it's Burnley's turn to put pressure on Huddersfield's defence. 3 minutes 10 seconds of normal time to play. Schindler knocking that ball out. Defoe trying to make something happen. Again Burnley wastes possession, and that's been the theme of the game so far. It's been repetitively bad, I'm afraid, these balls from Burnley. It's not been a good performance offensively. It's been a decent defensive display, but unfortunately Burnley have lacked the cutting edge up front and really come back to haunt them because Huddersfield are on the attack. And here they are on the far side with Tom Ince. Measures a cross up towards the penalty area. And again it was a low cross, and Burnley hooking it away halfway inside their own half. And Burnley here under a lot of pressure. Van La Parra in fact got the cross in. But this is going to be a real late twist here as number 33 about to come on here. I don't know who it is. Well, it is Kachunga who's going to come off. Taking his time to walk off the field. I think the fourth official should be adding time on for this. It's been a frustrating day for the Clarets, and oh god, it's that Hadajonga who's going to come on. If I pronounced it wrong, I apologise to Huddersfield fans in advance. Kachunga has gone off. 2 minutes just under to go. As Moy gets it forward towards the far side, Van La Parra keeps it in on the far side. Needs support. Aaron Moy is the man. Low cross in there, hooked away by Tarkowski. Had to be hooked away. Still 0-0. And we're now deep into business end now. The squeaky bum time, as Sir Alex Ferguson likes to say. And Burnley here starting maybe to run out a bit of steam. One Burnley player went tumbling there, and then the free kick has been given, quite rightly there, foul there on Jack Cork. And Huddersfield will be quite happy that they're just wasting time here by giving away 3 kicks like that. We're into the last minute of normal time here at Turf Moor on the Clarets Match Live from Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. And unfortunately we haven't been able to bring you a goal. Are we going to bring you some late drama here? Burnley now might as well throw everything forward and risk it all now, because here's Tarkowski to hook it forward towards the penalty area. And again Huddersfield winning the first and second balls every single time, and they haven't stopped doing it really. Burnley here just... Oh, Defoe was surely fouled! The referee foolishly allowed it to go on, and Tarkowski had no choice but to bring the Huddersfield player down, but there should have been a foul there on Stephen Defoe. The referee there did not blatantly spot it, and I think Burnley have been done here. Van La Parra should have been caught, should have been sent off, because he took out Stephen Defoe. Tarkowski had to take him out there. He had no other choice because he was running through the centre. I think Van La Parra is a very lucky boy, because I felt that he took Stephen Defoe out illegally, and from that undecision it left James Tarkowski with little or no hope of, little or no choice I should say, of conceding the 3 kick. And Aaron Moy, who can hit them from around 25-30 yards out. We're now into stoppage time, only the 3 minutes at the end, but if this goes in now, Burnley will have lost on a controversial note as the shot from Moy comes in. The free kick from 25 yards, it was blocked thankfully by the Burnley wall. And Burnley here in desperate need now. Have they got enough time to get the ball up the field and maybe snatch the 3 points? Barnes can't take it down. Huddersfield just content now to keep possession and frustrate Burnley, and they've done that in all due respect today. And they've not made it a pretty game. They could have won it arguably in the second half with that chance for the Protra when Nick Pope made a fine save, and the ball back could be dangerous, and Pope is there. We've played a minute of the 3. Burnley really need to get their fingers out now if they're going to have any designs of winning this game. A 0-0 draw would be not the best result really for Burnley, considering they're the home team and they were big odds on favourites at the start. I had them down for a 2-0 home win. Maybe Chris Whiteman's prediction on LTF this morning was probably right. He predicted 1-1. At the moment we're going to have 0-0. Sean, well, I'd like to hear what Sean Dyche has to say at the end of this. It'll be interesting to see. Here's Brady, gets it the ball forward, looking towards Wood, but he can't find Wood. Cork to win the next one. We've got about 1 minute and 10 seconds to go of the stoppage time. That's surely a foul there on Chris Wood, but the referee again missing the decision. And in fact he's given Huddersfield a 3 kick. This referee is giving me the absolute heebie-jeebies. How was that a free kick to Huddersfield? Oh, Jesus Christ, we've had 2 horrible referees in the space of 3 or 4 days to come here to the turf. He's only got 1 big decision right. That was the decision to book Van Lopara, who should have arguably been yellow carded for a second time for a blatant challenge on Stephen Defoe, which led to a Huddersfield free kick they should never have had in the first place. Still 0-0. Can Burnley... It feels like some of the time Burnley have been playing against 12 men. It really has. Oh, for God's sake, he's going to play an advantage. There was no foul there to begin with. This referee is giving me the creeps. 10 seconds of normal time just over to go. Surely Huddersfield can't nick it from here, surely. Ball played in towards the penalty. It looked offside to me. The ball he looked offside, and he was offside, thank God. Played the 3 minutes. It's a great result for Huddersfield. A disappointing result for Burnley, and our first 0-0 of the new season on the JB Claret YouTube channel. It's a great point for Huddersfield, but I think they had the majority of the refereeing decisions as well in their favour, apart from Van Lopara, who was quite rightly booked. On another day he could have been sent off, and I think Huddersfield are very lucky to escape the game with 11 men. Burnley did not have the bulk of decisions, although having said that, their final ball in towards the strike force was just not good enough on the day, I'm afraid, and that has been the optimum difference really why this game has ended Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0, and probably now last on match of the day this evening. So there we go. Burnley did try to play the football, but Huddersfield's tactics, to be fair, was spot on. He doubled up on the attackers, but I think Wagner got the defining refereeing decisions. Apart from that Van Lopara dive, on another day he could have seen red for that. This was arguably the moment of the match when Tom Ince hit the shot just wide of the target. I would have said Chris Wood's opportunities were there, but I don't think I think a win would have been flattering to Huddersfield, who I have to say were second best. I think we'll be happier with the point than what Burnley are, I'm afraid. Anyway, let's have a look at the match statistics, shall we, and see what we can pick the bones out of this 0-0 draw with the stats. 5 attempts to Huddersfield's 8, 3 on target to Burnley to Huddersfield's 2. Burnley had the better percentage on possession, 52 to 48%. Burnley putting more passes, 449 to 417. The passing accuracy by 3% went in the favour of Huddersfield, 76 to 73%. 7 corners in all, 4-3 in Huddersfield's favour. 13 fouls committed, believe it or not, by Huddersfield to 9 for Burnley, and Burnley had 3 yellow cards, 2 of them soft, to Huddersfield's 2, although arguably they should have had a man sent off through Van Lopara for 2 yellows, but we'll be picking at nits until 8 o'clock tonight, and it's not going to change the final result in the record books. So both teams now move on to 9 points, so Huddersfield will still stay ahead of Burnley in the league table. But that was a frustrating day really for the for the Clarets. So there we go, it's finished goalless, but I think the referee, Chris Cavana, I don't think it was his finest hour. I think he tried to write his name over the game. Of course he tried to let the game flow, but there was one or two idiotic decisions that he didn't really get right, and I'm afraid the referee was poor. I have to say, from a Burnley point of view, Scott Arfield was poor. I have to say that. It's the first time I've actually been able to say that throughout the season. I have to say that Brady for a long spell wasn't particularly brilliant, and really the substitutes came at such a ridiculously late time. It didn't give the likes of Barnes or Johan Gudmundsson really the opportunity to get into the game, and they just didn't have enough time really to come in and try and make a significant impact. And I have to say, credit goes to the back four of Huddersfield Town. They had a few chances. They did everything right, got the clearances in, got foots in when it needed to, won every first, second and third ball, and just frustrated the Clarets at times, and that was always the difference, I think, in the end. And that's why we've finished goalless here. We'll be leaving you in around about just after 5 o'clock here on the Clarets Match, but I'm afraid it's could well be last on match of the day, quite honestly, because at the moment they, as things stand, they are in 8th place. So let's have a look at what we've got at the moment. We've got some full-time scores in, so let's take a check on all what's happened. Everton have won 2-1 against Bournemouth, so that's a good result for Everton. They needed that going into the game against the Clarets next week. Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0, as you know. Manchester City 5, Crystal Palace 0. Well, we knew that was going to happen. Southampton 0, Manchester United 1. It's finished at St Mary's. Stoke 0, Chelsea 4, and Swansea 1, Watford 2. Good result there for Watford. That's the Liverpool kicking off at 7:30 this evening. So there we go. That's everything sorted out. So let's do a full classified before we leave you. We've got about 4 minutes to go. So let's give you a full classified check, and any late results we'll pick them up as we go along. So let's start in the Barclays Premier League. Earlier today, West Ham 2, Tottenham 3, Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0, the game you just heard. Everton 2, Bournemouth 1, Man City 5, Crystal Palace 0, Southampton 0, Manchester United 1, Stoke 0, Chelsea 4, and Swansea 1, Watford 2. Leicester versus Liverpool is a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Right into the Sky Bet Championship. Latest score: Bolton 0, Brentford 3. Full time: Derby 1, Birmingham 1, Fulham 1, Middlesbrough 1, Leeds 3, Ipswich 2, Norwich and Bristol City 0-0, Preston Millwall 0-0, that's just finished, QPR 0, Burton 0, Reading 1, Hull 1, Sunderland 1, Cardiff 2, and Wolves 2, Barnsley 1. Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest is a kick-off in just over half an hour's time, and Bolton 0, Brentford 3 is a latest score. Into League 1 we go. Bristol Rovers 3, Blackpool 1, Charlton 1, Bury 1, that's still going. Fleetwood 2, Southend 4, Northampton 0, Bradford City 1, Oxford 1, Walsall 2, still playing at Peterborough winning 3-2 against Wigan. Plymouth 0, Doncaster Rovers 3, Rochdale 3, Gillingham 0, Rotherham 5, Oldham 1, Scunthorpe 2, Portsmouth 0, and Shrewsbury 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Into League 2 we go. Again, some late results coming in that one. Accrington 1, Cheltenham 1, still playing at Barnet. Barnet 1, Crawley 2 is the latest score, and the same at Colchester. Colchester 1, Wickham 2, they're still playing there. Coventry and Exeter still 0-0, they've only played 54 minutes in that game. Crewe 0, Carlisle 5, still going on at Luton. Luton 1, Chesterfield 0 is the current score. So too at Mansfield, they're still going into 8 minutes there, and it's Mansfield 2, Cambridge 1. Newport 1, Grimsby 0, and Notts County now into stoppage time in their game with Lincoln winning that one by 4-1. Stevenage 2, Morecambe 1, and Yeovil 1, Port Vale 1. Okay, and we now move into, but we're going to move into the National League before we go into Scotland and the National League. Here we are, the National League. Here we go. Fixtures Here are the scores from that one. Hartlepool 1, Eastleigh 2, AFC Fylde 1, Woking 2, Bournemouth 0, Ebbsfleet 1, Chester 2, Maidenhead 0, Halifax Town 2, Bromley 1 is a later score, 3 minutes to go in that game. Guiseley 1, Dover 1, that's a later score, 85 minutes of elapsed there. Aldershot 2, Leyton Orient 2, Maidstone 2, Gateshead 2, Solihull Moors and Dagenham and Redbridge, that's 2-2 into the 4th minute of stoppage time there. Sutton United 3, Barrow 2 into stoppage time in that one. Torquay 0, Macclesfield 1 and Tranmere 0, Wrexham 1, that's got another 4 minutes for stoppage time still to run. Okay, we'll now go into the Scottish Premiership, starting with earlier today, Rangers 0, Celtic 2, Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 1, Ross County 0, Hibernian 1, St Johnstone 2, Hamilton Academicals 1, and at half time in the 4 o'clock kick-off between Partick Thistle and Hearts, it's Partick 1, Hearts 0. And now we go into the Scottish Championship now, and the scores from there are as follows: Brechin City 0, Dunfermline 3, Dumbarton 2, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Dundee United 2, Greenock Morton 1, and Falkirk 0, Livingston 2. Scottish League 1 now, and here we are. Angler 2, Albion Rovers 5, East Fife 3, Forfar Athletic 0, Queen's Park 0, Hare United 2, Raith Rovers 2, Airdrie 0, and Stranraer 2, Arbroath 6. Whopping 6 goals there for Arbroath. Scottish League 2 now. Clyde 1, Calvin Beef 1, Edinburgh 0, Peterhead 3, Elgin City 3, Montrose 0, Stenhousemuir 3, Berwick Rangers 0, and Stirling Albion 3, Annan Athletic 2. We're now going to the Welsh football, the Welsh Premier League, and just the 2 games taking place at 3 o'clock. It's finished Connaskey 1, Cardiff 0, Cardiff MU 0, and Prestaddy 0, Newtown 0. And the Danske Bank Irish League, it's ended Ballymena 0, Ballymena 0, Carrick Rangers and Cliftonville. That was supposed to I don't know what happened in that game. I think they're all, well, we don't know about the Irish Premiership, but that's all. Anyway, all the big scores are up anyway, and Burnley, let's see what Burnley are looking at the moment as far as the table is concerned. Let's look at the Premier League table as it stands tonight. So Everton, Man United, Manchester City, Chelsea and Watford all win, and it means now Man City are top on goal difference from Manchester United. Chelsea are in third, having played 6 games and got 13 points. Tottenham complete the top 4. Watford now zoom up into 5th with a morale boosting victory over Swansea, a great bounce back from heart-wrenching 6-0 defeat, but they have a -1 goal difference. Newcastle then is 6th, Huddersfield 7th, Burnley in 8th. They all have 9 points. And then come Liverpool, have still to play against Leicester. And then West Brom in 10th. Southampton in 11th. They've lost again today. Arsenal in 12th. They play on Monday. Everton up to 13th out of the relegation zone. Then comes Swansea, Stoke, Leicester and Brighton all on, and West Ham in the bottom 3, all on 4 points. Bournemouth then in 19th place on 3 points. And Crystal Palace played 6, won none, drawn none, lost 6. Goal difference -13, no points and no goals scored. And that is your lot for this afternoon on the JB Claret YouTube channel. The Clarets Match Live. We tried to bring you a goal in the game, our main event between Burnley and Huddersfield Town, but it just wasn't to be on the day. Chris Whiteman was completely right on LTF this morning. I think he got it absolutely spot on. Thank you to everybody that's taken part in listening to the commentary this afternoon. Sorry we couldn't bring you a goal today. It's just the way of the world really, but I hope you've enjoyed the coverage nonetheless, and we hope to see you very soon. Don't forget, the Clarets Match Live will be back a week tomorrow. We go where we'll be from Goodison Park as Burnley look to try and keep their unbeaten away record going against Everton, who have just got back on track with a 2-1 win against Bournemouth this afternoon. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next weekend, hopefully we'll see you for some Champions League stuff as well during the week. We'll have to see what games we are, so we'll try and bring you some European football during the week, of course, and then next weekend we'll bring you at least 2 games from the Premier League, because Burnley don't play till Sunday, so we'll bring you a Saturday Premier League game as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry we couldn't bring you any goals, folks, but unfortunately that's the way it was. I think both teams were destined to cancel each other out, in all honesty. The referee was awful, I have to say. Mr. Kavanagh really wasn't the best refereeing performance I've seen all season. He's up there with the worst refereeing display since Darren Bond on Tuesday night in that 2-2 draw. Burnley will be disappointed they've dropped 2 points. Huddersfield have gained a point, arguably. I think they'll be more satisfied with the result than Burnley, but at the moment that was a real opportunity wasted really for the Clarets today. Big winnable 3 points, and they only take 1 from it. But never mind, we go again against Everton next week. Join us again for the Clarets Match Live then. Until then, have a good weekend, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm off to get some tea and then do my evening shift at work. Until then, have a good weekend. Don't get up to any mischief, will you? But the finals outcome here: Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0. No goals to bring you, I'm afraid, this weekend. I hope you have enjoyed it, however. And for me, JB, it's goodbye and have a good weekend.